This gimbal right here is just under $250. Hey there, I'm Ched, and today's video is very special because we've officially partnered with Zhiyun-Tech for the first time, and they sent me their brand new gimbal model, which is the Cinepeer Weebill 3E. Now, this gimbal has one special feature that I really like and would be really useful for today's media standards. So be sure to keep watching because I'll be telling you everything to expect in this gimbal and some example footage as well. And just a quick disclaimer, even though this video is sponsored, I'll still be honest about my views and opinions about this gimbal. But then again, before we move any further, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you won't miss any of my future uploads. First, let's quickly see the items that are included in the package. First thing that we have here is the standard tripod, which is a pretty decent size in terms of length, and it opens wide, so that means it can offer more stability. Next is the Manfrotto compatible base plate, but later on, I will put an additional accessory in this one just to make things faster in terms of mounting and removing the camera. And on the small plastic bag, we have a locking bolt, an Allen wrench, some cables as well, so you can control your camera with the different buttons and dials in the gimbal. And I think this would be the perfect time to show you the list of compatible cameras for this gimbal. Either use the Bluetooth function or use these cables included to control your camera. And of course, the main character of this video, the Cinepeer Weebill 3E, which is a really good looking gimbal and can support a camera and lens combo with up to 3 kilograms, despite weighing only 1.01 kilogram and approximately the size of an A4 paper. For a gimbal like this, that is a very impressive payload. Now, let's have a closer look at this gimbal. The first things that we will notice are these axis locks, which are really easy to locate since they come in contrast with the black color in each area. And they have a pretty decent size as well, so you won't have any problems when you're switching these back and forth. By the way, this is where your control cables go. The Type-C input with the yellow outline and a mini camera icon on top. Because when I had my first gimbal, I switched the two Type-C inputs and tried charging it via this control cable port instead of plugging it right here at the actual charging port. So while we are in this section, here we have a nice rubberized grip, which would be really useful, especially when you're filming for hours. This would make sure that the gimbal won't slip and you won't have to grip so tight so your hands won't feel too much fatigue. Now on the front side, we have the trigger button and a wheel scroll, which are both customizable. Either program them to fix your ISO, aperture, focus, zoom, etc. But for me, I'll just keep them as is. I think the double tap to recenter the gimbal and triple tap to enter vlog or selfie mode are most useful in my situation. Then by default, the scroll wheel right here will give you the option to do the Dutch angle in your shots. So I think I'll keep this one on default as well. Moving on the control panel, we have a 0.96-inch screen right here, which we can see the different modes and settings that we can apply depending on your case of use. On the right side, we have the power and menu button, as well as another scroll wheel in here. You can use this to scrub through the options when you're going through the menu settings and just tap in the middle to select. And finally, here on the left side of our control panel, we can see the joystick to control the pan and tilt position of the gimbal, the M button to select various modes depending on what kind of content you're filming, and finally, the record button. You can use this button if your camera is connected via the included cables that I mentioned earlier, but with the camera I'm using, which is the Sony A6400, I can just pair it to the Weebill 3E wirelessly via Bluetooth. My only comment here is that I think these buttons are too far away, and I think a big factor for this is that I just don't have long fingers to reach them effortlessly. I can reach them as you can see, but every time I do while operating the gimbal, I kind of lose grip, and that's concerning, especially if I tend to shoot using only one hand. So I wish that they would change that layout in their next release. What do you think about this design? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like I said earlier, you can put an optional accessory on the plate so you can mount and remove your camera faster. So I'm using this Falcam F38 quick release plate, which means I don't have to slide in and slide out this plate and rebalance my gimbal whenever I mount and remove my camera. Another one is the Master Move accessory from Zhiyun as well. You can mount it here at the bottom. As you can see, we have 3 screw holes in here. You can use it as a second support handle to lessen fatigue on your arms for long shooting periods. Another option is that you can use it in underslung mode, so you don't have to arch your back too much, which is ideal, especially in my age where back problems start to appear. And that is just the reality of it. Write "my back hurts too" in the comments so I know I'm not alone in this battle. Now let's talk about the battery life. In the official link of this product, it states that this gimbal has a 16-hour battery life with its 2650 mAh built-in batteries. But of course, that depends on how you would use this gimbal, so if you constantly put a lot of stress in the motors, the battery life could lessen significantly. Of course, a gimbal review is not complete without any test footage. So I brought it to the gym with my brother Kyle and we'll do some epic B-rolls using this gimbal. gimbal. On a normal day, I have my Sony A6400 with the Sigma 16mm mounted on the gimbal, but today we are using the Sony A7C Mark II with the Sony 16-35G lens that I borrowed from my brother Mark, and this setup proves that the Cinepeer Weebill 3E can handle bigger camera bodies and lenses. Keep in mind, I haven't said my most favorite feature yet about this gimbal, so stay tuned. But first, let's see those B-roll footage. Now that we're done watching the test footage, let's head over to my favorite feature. The Cinepeer Weebill 3E supports a native portrait switch. I know it's not that surprising, a lot of gimbals can do that nowadays, but the Cinepeer Weebill 3E just made it a lot easier to do. Simply unlock and slide out this plate right here. Then if you notice, we have another sliding bracket over here. Let's just switch to that, slide it over, lock it, and then you are done. It may require a bit of rebalancing, but the beauty of this is that you don't need to purchase any additional brackets and mounts. You know, just to achieve that native portrait shots that you can use for social media reels. You might say, oh, the Crane M3 has a flashlight mode that could also give the same results without any additional brackets. Trust me, I know. I've been there. But the problem with the flashlight mode is that you're really not flexible in that position, instead of the normal upright gimbal operation that you would normally do. Less strain on your arms and neck as well. If you want to give this gimbal a go, use my link in the description to get a 10% off discount on your purchase. And that is it for me today. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video or learned something new, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this one. See you next time.